What's going on, everyone? How's it going on this lovely Sunday or whatever day you're listening to this or seeing this? Pulled over to type this up because I wanted to talk about something that has been coming up a little lately. But basically, it's if you're looking for a really simple way to practice or the simplest way to practice in chiropractic, the MoveNow system is not for you. No, run the other way. You're looking for simple? This is not it. However, well, I shouldn't say simple. I should say basic. I should say easy, okay? But simple and complete and methodical, it's, what Jocko Willink, if you never followed him before, Jocko Willink is a retired Navy SEAL, teaches a lot of leadership principles and businesses and whatnot. And he says that's an extreme dichotomy, is that a plan needs to be simple but methodical and detailed, because if it's too simple, it falls apart and it's not going to work. So here's what it comes down to. So first off, before I keep going any further, if you want to see inside of our doctor training portal, I made a 30-minute pre-recorded demo video. I made this maybe like a week and a half ago, so it's pretty new, where I just walk through all the different modules and I explain how the whole system works and show the training to give you a better idea of what the program that we've built over the last couple of years is all about. It's I would say it's more complete than anything I've ever heard or anything I know of, and I have a lot of doctors who are part of our system who have done other coaching and done other systems and done other seminars, and they say ours blows it out of the water. So I would not doubt that. Brandy Hunter, how's it going? Our office manager, Brandy's on here. I'm going to see if I can add her to this. We haven't been able to do this successfully in the past. Yeah, it doesn't say that you're viewing it, Brandy. I don't know what the deal is. Facebook Live doesn't really like to add other people on this, it seems. So, sorry, Brandy. I wanted to bring you on, but looks like it's not going to happen. Oh, there you are. I'm going to try adding you now. I'm going to try adding Brandy on camera. We'll see if this works for once. She's our office manager, so if she comes on here, she can speak to some of this as well. It says adding, and it's blinking. Let's see if it brings Brandy on. And it might not. It might just blink for a while. So here's the thing that I want to talk about, because I've had some doctors lately who reach out to us and ask us some questions, or they watch our demo and they say, yeah, you know what? The fact that you guys do a 3-day system with a new patient, or the fact that you have like even 4 or 5 days that you have specific implements that you do each day, it's not going to work because we're planning on doing a 2-day system, or it sounds like too much work, or it sounds like too much time, or whatever. My response to that is, you might be absolutely right. You might be right. I'm going to kill this, Brandy. You're not going to come on here. Sorry. So my response is, you might be absolutely right. It might be that this is not for you. But my question back is, what is it you want to do in your practice? What is it you want to do as a chiropractor? What is it you want to do for your patients? And I'll just share a quick little recap of my story, if you ever heard my story before. I'm going on 17 years in practice. Graduated chiropractic school when I was 22 years old, so I'm still young despite all my gray hair. And basically, I wanted to be the absolute best. I wanted to do the best for my patients. I got into Gonstead because that was known to be the most specific, best segmental type of adjustment out there. I know there's other techniques that say that they're the best, so it's beauty's in the eye of the beholder, I guess. But I was really sold on that, and I got as good as I could with Gonstead, was the president of the Gonstead Club for several trimesters at my school, Cleveland Chiropractic College in Los Angeles. Taught the work to a lot of people, went to 22 Gonstead seminars before I graduated chiropractic school, went in with a Gonstead instructor out in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Wanted to learn as much as I could from him. And what happened is these words resonated in my mind that he said years prior to seminar. He said, if there was something out there better, we'd be doing it. And so I've just always thought about that. And several years into practice where I felt like I was getting complacent, I just felt like there was more I could do for my patients, and that's where I went from adjusting only to looking at curve correction. So stumbled upon chiropractic biophysics, went and got advanced certified in that, went to a bunch of seminars there over the course of a couple years, and started using chiropractic biophysics in practice along with Gonstead, and was like one of just a handful of clinics in the country doing that, seeing great results. knowing there was something else missing, knowing I still wasn't doing what I felt like I needed to do. I felt like I hadn't arrived yet. Like literally that feeling of you can't really sleep at night because you feel like there's something else missing. I felt like that every freaking night, seriously. And it was like, all right, well, we're not going through any sort of like mobility, or flexibility type stuff, which those are technically two different things, but we weren't going through mobility. We weren't going through any like strengthening with these people. Like there was just all these things that I knew was missing, and then come to find out that it was termed functional movement, or that was at least the most revolutionary ideas with how to put corrective exercise in with chiropractic was this thing called functional movement. So then I was searching for, well, who teaches you how to do that as a chiropractor and put that in your clinic? And lo and behold, I found out no one really tailors it to a chiropractic clinic. There's different systems out there. I went to some seminars. I learned some stuff. I studied. I'm still studying and finding out there just wasn't the systems in place to do it. So coming all the way back around, we now practice differently. Our initial process with a new patient is more methodical. It takes more staff training. It takes more work on the front end. Absolutely. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that our day 1 through 3 process is as quick and easy as someone else that has no day 1, day 2, day 3 process. Or I'm not going to lie to you and say that it's easier than a day 1, day 2 process. I'm not going to say either, but I am going to say it is absolutely more methodical. We are doing a more complete job with our patient clinically. We have an extremely high conversion rate with our patients because we're educating them and we are speaking to them in such a way that is, I feel, honest and transparent. It is not a salesy feeling type of process. We're not closing them. We're not hard selling them. We're not doing all the stuff that everyone else out there preaches about that is so necessary to do. And yet we have a very high conversion rate with a fairly low number of new patients to sustain our volume. Okay, like if I wanted to see 500 patient visits a week, I would turn the crank, I'd get a bunch of new patients, we'd convert them all, and our clinic would be overflowing. And honestly, to me, that's a nightmare. That sounds like a nightmare to me. I see these Facebook ads where like, do you want 1,000 new patients a month and see 500 visits a week? If that's your goal, awesome, more power to you. That used to be my goal back in the day, and I used to think that was my goal. Now, almost 17 years into practice and looking at longevity in the profession, for one, for me, for my own selfish interest, my joints, working and not crippling myself, for one. For two, maintaining a passion in what I do and not getting burned out. You see 500 people a week, it doesn't take very long to start to be like, how do I get out of this? And then for three, and most importantly, to do just an excellent job with patients, to be able to manage most any case that walks in the door and have a very methodical process of how to take care of them, and not have a adjustment bag of tricks where you use this technique and this technique and this technique, and then you basically get their symptoms to go away. So in your mind, you convince yourself that you fix them, which I'm gonna help abolish that delusion right now. No adjustment is fixing someone long term if they don't know how to move properly and if they have rigid abnormal posture. And I am like as chiropractically minded as you possibly can be. Definitely not a straight chiropractor. I'm a mixer because I do more than adjusting. However, I hold on to the chiropractic principles and lifestyle that our body is a self-healing organism and that our spine and our nervous system is the main center of that. So we live that, we talk it, we teach it to our patients. However, I'm also very, very skeptical. So I am like a chiropractic skeptic. So meaning I'm the one always asking the question, well, how do you know? How do you know that? What if this? Show me a measurement, show me an objective finding, show me some kind of proof. And that's what led me having to say, you have to address segment, posture, and movement. All three of those if you really are doing a complete job with your patients. You don't have to do that. You could say, hey, it's too complicated. It's too much work. I don't want to put all the systems in place. I don't want to educate my patient. I don't want to do all that. Okay, so instead, I'd rather just have a very basic way of practicing. And so that's why doing a day 1, day 2, day 3, and then having things we do on day 4 and day 5 is just too much, okay? It might be, but here is what I would say. One is you have to be okay then you're not going to do as thorough of a clinical job with your patient. You're just not. And there's really nothing you can say about that. You're not. And I mean, if you want to do like a debate head to head, I'm not saying this to ruffle feathers necessarily, but let's just be honest with ourselves. You're not, okay? Patient comes in with a blown out fifth lumbar, you're getting them out of crisis care, but if you never show them how to hip hinge properly, you never teach them how to move properly, and if they don't find some really awesome personal trainer or physical therapist who thinks outside the box and still promotes and upholds chiropractic and doesn't badmouth you so they still come back to you in the future, if you can find that, well, great. But it's kind of like a unicorn. It doesn't really exist, or it's very, very hard to find. I know it maybe exists in some mythical worlds, but in this mythical world of Meridian and Boise, Idaho, have not seen any unicorns around here. So that's where we came to the conclusion that we have to step up to the plate and do it ourselves. So what our system does have inside of it, though, is that in the process of educating the patients, we have automation, meaning we have things that are very methodical and structured so that a patient can get excellent educational resources. They go through an experience learning this stuff. It transforms them literally. It's called the 12-week transformation as they go through this process. The reason they even get into the 12-week transformation, which is that 12-week corrective care phase, is because the first day 1, day 2, day 3, and then day 4, day 5 is the proper way to onboard them to that process so they can be successful. The reason that they even do it is because it resonates with them. They see the immense value in it. What they're paying is minuscule compared to how much value they are receiving. And it took work to be able to deliver that value. It absolutely did. But patients are impressed and blown away by it, not because it's just a show, but because it's real and it delivers and they can feel it and they know it. And I'll tell you this, when you have something that's real that delivers like that on the front end, the closing and the sales process and all of that, you could argue all of this is a sales process and all of this stuff we do is part of the sales process. Yes, it is technically, okay, if we can remove that like sleazy feeling of the word sales process out of it. But I'll tell you that because it does such a powerful job on the front end, the back end part where they commit to care is easy. It's easy. And we see it every single day. Doctors who come into our clinic who visit from out of town are like wowed, okay? And you don't have to have a huge clinic to do it. You just have to have systems and methods behind it. We have doctors part of our program that are single practitioners who just finally hired a second person in their clinic. So there's a doctor and one staff, and they're using our systems, all right? It's modified because there's only 2 of them, but they're doing it. They're following a lot of these automated things that we teach inside the program. Things like, I would urge you, go and watch the demo. It's Sunday today, at least when I'm doing this live. You might hear this on a replay. It's Sunday today, so you got plenty of time. You can break away 30 minutes and you can go check this out. Demo.movenowu.com. You can see behind the scenes how this stuff works. I answer the most common questions that we've heard from chiropractors, and then I show you how we put this stuff together, like our belt system of functional movement, the 12-week transformation, our day 1 through 3 process, which has some things on day 4, 5. So you can actually say it's a day 1 through 5 process, but I think that's a little misleading because it makes you think it's like this crazy drawn out process. It's not. It's really a day 1 through 3, but day 4 and 5, some very important things we do to make sure people are getting what they getting what they need to be successful over the 12 weeks of their first phase of corrective care. So I guess in summary, what I'm saying, without going in too many circles or going on too many tangents, is that it all depends on what you're looking for in practice. We are not trying to resonate with every chiropractor out there. I know chiropractors are humans, and there's a lot of different styles of human beings out there. There's some humans that want the easiest, simplest way out, all right, and they don't want to put the hard work in. That's not, I'm not trying to resonate with you, okay? So go do your thing. I would say get out of chiropractic and go sell shoes or insurance or do something else, because chiropractic is like teeter-tottering and really needs people to fight hard to help with its image and its level of care that needs to be delivered to the public. So I would actually go so far to say not just go do your thing, but contemplate whether chiropractic's right for you. I mean, I think chiropractic is an amazing profession. I think if you're going to do it, you should do it 1,000% forward. Not saying you have to practice exactly like we do, but I'm saying if you're lazy and you're complacent, like do your patients a favor. They don't deserve that. I mean, how, here's a question I want to ask you. Okay, you right there, lazy chiropractor who's watching this, which is probably like 1%, because the other 99% is watching this is like the hardworking ones. So all the other hardworking ones just listen while I reprimand this lazy one. Lazy chiropractor. How would you feel if your mom was sick and you sent her to a oncologist or some other specialist who was kind of just doing enough to get by, didn't really, wasn't really passionate about their job, knew that there was more up-to-date research and good stuff, but just tired or just wants to like make it really easy. And so they just skip around with your mom and they miss stuff. How would you feel? You'd feel awful, right? You'd say, go find a different doctor, Mom. That's not who you should be seeing. That's the way that we need to think about this with ourselves and with what we're doing with our patients. Think about, is the level of care you're doing what you would want to send your children or your parents to? Okay? And if the answer is yes, then good job. If the answer is, well, you got a point, maybe this is your pep talk to step it up a little bit. But the original topic of this was, we've had chiropractors reach out who say, sounds too complicated, sounds too much work, because I'm just going to do this like really easy system that I've been taught by this practice management group or someone that I should do. It's a different game when you're doing functional movement. All right? When you're measuring and then addressing movement, it adds another layer to what we do as chiropractors. It's totally appropriate for chiropractors to be doing this, but it adds another layer that requires some more systems. Absolutely. Like, how are you just going to add that into what you're doing already? You have to have some other systems in place. And so those systems are the things that, believe me, we struggled through. We tried and tested, and we basically said, nope, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. So like, I already failed like 50 times just so you don't have to. I found what works really, really well, and that's what we're doing. The belt system, the 12-week transformation, and a day 1 through 3 system with specific things that happen on day 4 and day 5. Patient gets a journal. They follow along with an online membership site. We have this process where our patients get motivated. See, I'm wearing this black belt on my wrist. This is part of the belt system. They track what they're doing at home. They have their name written on a board with belts hanging on it at the clinic, so they have this feeling of community. All of those things play into what makes us tick as a human and what actually gets your patients to be successful following this amazing level of care. So that's all I wanted to say. That's it. I get all excited when I talk about this. Go to demo.movenowu.com, and if you want to talk about this, you can jump on Facebook. You can find our number through there. I can get on and text with you. We can shoot a Marco Polo to each other. I'm happy to talk to other chiropractors who are leading with a desire to be excellent. If that's the number one thing, I will find some time to chat with you and talk with you, because if what I say could help impact you and then impact all the patients you're going to see for the rest of the time in profession, it is time well spent. I will feel very fulfilled with that. Whether you decide that our stuff is right for you or not, I don't care. If I can help in some way, let me know. I'm happy to chat with you. I've talked to lots of doctors before that are on a totally different path, but I feel like I've been able to help them. They feel like it's been helpful, and I feel satisfied in that. I'm happy to do that. Going on almost 17 years now, so I'm starting to get to be like one of those senior practicing chiropractors. So I've learned a few things, and the thing is this: in my almost 17 years of practice, I feel like I've practiced for like 40 years with all the stuff we've tried and revamped. And for any of you that know me, a lot of people joke and they say, how do you get all this stuff done? Man, you must never sleep. Or they always make these kind of jokes. I actually do sleep. I just try to prioritize and execute and use my time as wisely as possible. So I've gotten a lot done. I feel like I have a lot of wisdom to share. Not saying that to toot my own horn or pat myself on the back, but I think it's true. But I'm not keeping it to myself. I want to help other chiropractors. So let me know if you have any questions after hearing this long explanation / rant on keeping things simple yet methodical and systematic, the extreme dichotomy. Check out the demo.movenowu.com, and look forward to connecting with you.